Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight on a nice win? Woo! It's fun to do a show after a win. We just saw the team win, and now we get to celebrate and have a little fun tonight on FMTV Live. Thanks so much for joining us. Right now, I'm flying solo. Ed is trying to get in. He's rebooting his computer right now. He seems to be having some technical difficulties, but hopefully he will join us soon. Feels like forever since we've done this show. I think we missed 2 weeks. I was traveling. Ed had some personal tragedies that he had to deal with. I literally just got back from Colombia last night at 3:00 in the morning. Insane day of travel. Flight getting 5 hours delayed. Losing my passport in the airport. Yeah, that happened, but they found it. And so what a hell of a day of travel. And then the airline was supposed to drop us off in Fort Lauderdale, send us to Miami. Bit of a big, for some people, that's a big deal. For me, it wasn't too bad. I had my wife go and just redirect, pick me up in Miami. But, it feels like forever that we've been able to hang out and do this show. So say hi in the chat. If you're watching this live, give us a hey in the chat. We'll announce everybody in a few minutes. I'm stalling if you haven't noticed. I hopefully Ed gets in soon. Let me see what was his last chat. He was just saying he was rebooting. So, yeah, there's that. There's always seems to be technical difficulty. That's the one thing with doing the live show. That's always a possibility. And see some people saying hello in the chat, so keep it coming. In the meantime, while we wait for some more people to get in the chat, while we wait for Ed to get in the show. Here it is. I was looking for it. Let's give a big thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is where you can go to get all your Inter Miami gear. The best prices in town. You can get the pink heartbeat shirt. You can get the black shirt that I'm currently wearing, which is also kind of a heartbeat shirt, right? And lots of good stuff at great prices. They're in Davie on University, just south of 595. If that's too far for you to go, if you're outside the area, no problem. Go to caneswear.com. Any orders over $99 ship for free. Mention FMTV. You will get a 10% discount whether you're in the store or not. So go to Caneswear. All right, so let's start saying hello to a few of you guys. I see you're starting to pop in. First one I see in. So if you were in before One World, check back in because I only see what was here, once we launched the show. So let's say hi to One World, One Goal. Woohoo, what a game. Yes, ma'am. Esteban Dito's in here as well. And Jose Velasquez is in as well. Marlins, Dolphins, Inter Miami win today. Yes, in all three teams playing in the D.C. area. Marlins playing the Nationals, Dolphins playing the Ravens in Baltimore. That's just a short drive away from D.C. and Inter Miami, obviously, in D.C. So all three teams hanging out in that area. All three teams get a win. Great day for South Florida. And Esteban Mejia agrees. Good day for Miami sports. Tank is in here as well. Heart Attack Herons pull off another last-minute victory. It was too close for comfort, but they did it. Exactly. So we'll get to more thoughts on the game as we go. Cotto in here with that Dolphin comeback. My goodness. I was watching that game as well. I did, fall asleep a little bit at the end, but I woke up right in that last touchdown. Maybe it was the noise. I don't know. Jet Pancake is in here as well. Welcome, Jet. Love that name. And let's see who else. Gonzalo Roteda, Southern Legion member. GFUS2216S says, what up? Kevin Gonzalez, I agree. This is a team. The one great thing about this version of Inter Miami is they never say die. They never give up. Higuain's attitude has gotten better. If he does complain nowadays, it's warranted. Like, sometimes he says, he wants the ball or something like that. Those are warranted complaints. No problem with that. He's not flapping his arms in the round anymore. So, yeah, team chemistry seems to be great. And they just don't quit. Whether they win or lose, they just don't quit. And Don Bear is in as well. Let's do numbers together. Playoff run. I don't really do numbers. I'm not good at math, but but we're currently in the playoffs. If the season ended today, we are in the playoffs. We are just above the line. We are in 7th place. So we're above. We're tied with Columbus, but above them. So, One World, One Goal agrees with me. True, Peter, this version much better than last season to finish off a game. Exactly. They just don't quit. And it was great to see Campana come back and scoring 2 goals. I did have a little issue. So, if you guys watched, there was a little video that Inter Miami put out. It was a video where there was a young girl, I think 9 years old. She was a Southern Legion member, and she got to hang out and meet Campana and Calendar. And she had some little dance. I don't remember what the dance was, but she had some little dance. And Campana said, "I will do that when I score a goal." I didn't see him do any funny dance. He just did his kissing of his straps, which is fine. I think he forgot about the dance. He had 2 chances, almost 3. Tank saying, they left it all on the pitch, though Leo should have stayed on, but glad Higuain proved me wrong. Excellent pass by Indy, and then a perfect low cross by Yedlin. I had no problem with Campana coming off. I mean, he's just coming back from injury. He put in a lot of time, so I think it makes sense. You generally don't want to, when someone comes back from injury, they generally only do 70, 80 minutes, sometimes less. So let me check on our boy. Let me check on our boy here. Any luck? Let's see if if he responds. So, the reason why no, forget that. I set up the show during halftime, so that's the only reason why I'm not having the issues. Sometimes we have issues, with technology and stuff like that, but I set it up at halftime, so I was lucky. Yes, 7 Tank was right. The T dance for Tati. That's what it was. She did like a T or something, right? Is that what it was? I forgot what it was, but it was super cute, right? And I wanted to see him do it. All right, I think Ed's going to try to get in here any second. So, I titled the show tonight, Possible or Pipe Dream for the playoffs. Right now, I think we could all agree it is possible because we're in. We're in. So the ball is in Inter Miami's court, but it's going to be a tough road for sure because let's go to the next tab I have open. We get to play Toronto next. Okay. A doable, I don't know why it is. A doable win. Let me just, why is this little thing going on? Anyways, Toronto's definitely a winnable game, but their 3 Italians gave us a hard time last time we played them. Orlando's going to be a tough game. They always play us tough, and they're a good team this year. Where are Orlando currently? See, Orlando's two ahead of us. That's going to be a tough game. And where is the schedule? Schedule doesn't want to cooperate here. Here we go. Well, let's just refresh that and scroll down. Montreal is the tough one of all. I mean, we could lose to Toronto and we could definitely lose to Orlando, but we can also beat both teams. They're both beatable teams, right? But Montreal, unless they're resting, Montreal could potentially rest players in that last game, which then would help us. Let's go. Let me go to here to see what you guys are saying. Tank says still very possible, but still a tough 3 games that are left. Exactly. So one world, one goal mentioning about Pozuelo is muggy. I thought Pozuelo had an off night. I mean, he was definitely involved a little more in the second half. He had an off first half for sure. Kata feels that Higuaín looked dead out there the last 15 minutes, but he still scored. He was there. Kata also feels like Toronto's defense is terrible, which gives us a chance. Exactly. Esteban Mejia is saying Miami is just 3 points off 5th place. It is tight. It is a tight race. But that's the whole thing, is just one loss, one tie, and you could be down here in 9th place. You know, this the wrong, you know, if it goes just a little bit sideways, we're dropping like a tank, if that's the right way to say it. So what are you guys saying? Well, you know what? While we're waiting, I know it's not looking good for our guy, Ed, to get in. So it's not looking good. We're 15 minutes into the show and there's no Ed, so it's not looking good. So let's just go ahead and go to some.
It's time for your voicemail. Hello?
And let me turn off Ed's screen here because he's not here. Let's go.
Good evening, everybody. How the hell are you doing today? It's America's favorite uncle, Uncle Ned. You know what Uncle Ned always says, boys and girls and germs. Fam. Damn. So this is a very special shout out. First I want to shout out my guys, Uncle Ed, America's favorite uncle, and my main homie, my main ace, downtown, Peter Brown, and to the nations of aunts and uncles, and Football Man TV world. I just want to shout out my man. This is a special shout out. It's not going to take long. I just want to shout out my man, Uncle Ed. Fellas, we got to give it up to Uncle Ed. I just want to say I love you, man, and keep your head up. I know loss is hard, man, and especially losing somebody at a very young age. But like I said, we all support you. We're here for you, Uncle Ed. If you ever need us, give me a shout out. Give downtown a shout out. Give the family in the room a shout out. And, we'll be checking up on you. I'll be checking up on you. I'm pretty sure downtown will be checking up on you. And that's it, guys. And go La Familia, and let's get this dub tonight against sorry-ass DC United. Peace and blessings. Peace.
So I was going to hold off on saying anything about this really until Ed got on, but so I'm not going to go into much detail because if you don't know, if you don't follow Ed on social media or you didn't see our tweets or anything like that about the cancellation of a couple shows, Ed had a death in the family. So, he had a lot going on recently. Still, not over it, clearly, because you don't get over that kind of stuff quickly and never get over it, right? So wrong probably word on my part. But yeah, I don't know why he's chatting me again. I don't know why Ed's having problems because he's running on a Mac that and Macs just don't give you issues. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, I'm just a Mac purist. I'm a Mac snob, and I never have any issues with my Macs. And but then again, if there ever is, I'm pretty good at problem solving them, just because I've used a Mac for like ever. But so I'm curious as to see what his issues are. He says he's going to try to jump in on a phone or something like that. So we'll see. So yeah, thoughts and prayers out to Ed and his family. If you haven't done that already, just think about him. That's all. So Campana scores 2 goals. How about that? How about, the guy that, has been out for like, what, 6 weeks? Or was it longer? I don't remember exactly. Comes back, scores 2 goals, and then his boy Higuain finishes it up with that nice cross in from DeAndre Yedlin. B. King is in here as well. Thoughts are with you, Ed. I'm with you, Tank. Can't wait for the next home match. So that Tuesday night game that had the over 2 hour rain delay or weather delay. I was in Colombia at this time, so I'm watching it on my iPad, and that I was upset about just because that's the first Inter Miami game I've ever missed. I've been to every game that we were allowed to go to. Obviously COVID messed some things up, but it was the first game I missed. In one sense, I'm glad I missed it because it would have sucked standing around for 2.5 hours waiting for them to start that game up. But that was that was interesting. Luckily, I was just sitting in my hotel room, so I just have the iPad sitting there waiting for them to come back if they come back, and I just do other stuff. But that was a crazy game. I'm curious how many of you guys in this chat were there and stuck it out the entire match. I saw, even the supporters section did shrink a little bit. Some people gave up and went home, but there was still a decent amount of you guys. Tank, were you there? Because I know you're diehard. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Tank is saying that was rough, but I'm so glad I stayed with maybe like 50 other fans. Exactly. B. King, he stayed for the whole game as well. Esteban says, hell no, not me, not on a Tuesday night. Kata, what the hell? You left at 10:45. The game's came back like, what was it? What was the exact time? It was 11:45 or something like 11:30 or something. It was close to midnight, right? When it came back on, I think. I'm a firm believer in not leaving, but I can't blame anybody that did leave that game because that was a long wait. And if you're on the west side, you've got nicer digs. You can kind of maybe, especially if you have the midfield club, which I've had the pleasure of watching the game from there. If you're in the midfield club, then it's you could sit down and enjoy some food and beverages maybe and just wait it out easily. If you're on the east side or the south or the north, you're standing. You're standing for 2 hours. There's nowhere to sit unless I guess everybody sits on the ground, which it's not, I've never seen that. Well, maybe I haven't seen that. So Kata, yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about. What the hell happened? Phil says possible racism against Lowe. So there was that confrontation that for a minute there in the middle of in the game, when Taxi and Lowe are sitting there having, a little words, a little pushing, and the referee, paused the game for so long. For a minute, I thought the ref had lost control of the game. I was like, why is he going over there and talking to the coaches? And then not only did he talk to the coaches, he talked to some MLS rep over there. So it was interesting. So, yeah, maybe that makes sense. Maybe Taxi said something racist towards our boy Lowe, or, hey, it could flip the other side. Maybe, are there, because Taxi's a Greek guy. Is there any racist Greek slang things I guess you could that Damien could throw at him. I don't know. But something clearly happened, but there was I think on the mic somebody said they caught the referee saying I didn't hear it. So hey, Kata's saying something to it looked to me that Rooney agreed to take that loser out to Phil. Yeah, well, both of them came out. Different reasons, but they both came out. What happened to Rooney? Rooney is looking like he ate Rooney. Rooney's gained some weight since his playing days. What's going on with that guy? Yeah, so, One World saying, yeah, I figured a bad comment, but you just don't know anymore. Different slang from Europe to here, too. Exactly. It's something I guess maybe they can review. I don't know. No, they're not might. So I guess it's just at this point, if nobody heard what was actually said, nothing can be done. But and then Lowe didn't have this best game either. That first goal was definitely Lowe's fault. So, and I'm a big supporter of Lowe. I defend him a lot. But Kata says, I need what he has been eating. I'll tell you. Colombia, Medellin, for me, a week in Medellin is not good for my diet. So when you think of Colombia, you know how we like to go on tangents and talk about food here. When you think about Colombia, what do you think about? What kind of food do you think about when you think about going to Medellin? Because a lot of people say to me, oh, you went to Medellin. You had some amazing Colombian food, right? Because there's certain things that you would expect to eat when in Colombia. You expect some arepas, right? Maybe some empanadas. Exactly. Kata says some bandeja paisa, which on our first night there, I was with somebody from work, and this guy was his first trip down, so he got the bandeja paisa, even though I'm sure I'm butchering that. He got that, and he loved it. But other than that, you're talking arepas and maybe some empanadas and all that. No, you know what they got a lot of in Medellin? Burgers. These Colombians love their burgers. There are burger restaurants everywhere, and they're good. They're not, they've got your McDonald's, they got your fast food stuff, but no, these are like good little restaurants that have like gourmet burgers, like good, big, messy burgers. But you can only do that so many days because, go out to lunch with the team, right? I take my team out to lunch. What do you want? Burgers. Okay. Next day, go out with a different group of individuals. What do they want? Burgers. Colombians like their burgers. I don't know what their love for burgers are because I don't think of burgers when I think of Colombia, right? Colombian food. Although, I know this because I've been there a lot, right? I go to Medellin quite a bit. I did take a break because of COVID, but Tank is throwing out some stuff. Arepas, empanadas, sancocho. I don't even know. Asados, pendejo. Yeah. You don't see a lot of that, though. You might get that kind of food at somebody's house. But in the restaurants in Colombia, or in Medellin, I could just speak to Medellin, you don't see a lot of that. There's not a lot of Colombian restaurants. And it was explained to me a long time ago that basically that's because that's the food that they eat at home. So when they go out, they want to get something different. They don't want to get their, because everybody's grandma, everybody's mom makes the best arepas, the best stuff like that, right? But man, and Italian restaurants, tons. I had Italian food twice. I had sushi. I had several burgers. I had pizza. I only had one, traditional kind of. I only went to one traditional Colombian restaurant, and even when I was there, I chose not to eat Colombian. I just got a steak just because sounded good. But Kata's saying the tourist parts. Well, where I stay is not so much the tourist part. I'm not in the tourist part, but I am in a business center. So the street El Poblado, I mean, maybe it's a bit touristy. I don't know. But the area that I'm at seems to be more businesses. There's a lot of American businesses up there. And there is a Hard Rock Cafe as well. Hard Rock Cafe has a great filet mignon when he went in 2015. It's moved since 2015. It's in a different location. The old Hard Rock that was in Medellin is now a drugstore of all things. It's moved to just down the street. It's still really close, just down the street. So, anyways. Back to the topic at hand. As soon as I get this loaded, can we make the playoffs? It's going to be uphill. We're getting back to my conversation. There's sometimes a delay here. One World, One Goal is saying, oh my gosh, now I'm hungry. Me too. El Poblado is like Coral Gables. Okay. I haven't been to Coral Gables a whole lot, but you know. Tank says, I was near there. Yes, El Poblado has great touristy goods. I need to go back. Medellin is an amazing city. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the area of El Poblado that street seems to just have a lot of it has a lot of like office buildings where a lot of American companies are, like mine. I mean, it's no difference. Ed says he's trying to connect with his phone. At this point, I'm running out of gas, and we're going to end this pretty soon if Ed just can't get in. But because he wants me to send him the link. Hang on, folks. Copy link. Paste it. All right, let's see if he can get in. Esteban says, Peter, since you have sided into another topic than Inter Miami FC win, CF. Get that right. CF, not FC. How about them Colombia women took a peek, and how impressed were you? Oh, my God. You're trying to get me in trouble. Hey, look, there's beautiful women everywhere you go in the world. I don't think it's any different there than it is anywhere else in the world. All right. Anyways, I was chatting with Ed. Oh, here we go. Still back on Colombia. Do you ever go to Paquijetas, or is it too packed? I love Club Colombia. So I went to Paquijetas on Friday night, and I walked through the whole thing. Mainly, we were trying to get to one place. So it's traditional for me to, on my last night in Colombia, I take out my entire team for some drinks. So we went to Bogota Beer Company, and it's a bar, and they've got their own beers, stuff like that. So went to Bogota Beer Company, which is in Paquijetas. And yeah, so we walked through all of it. It wasn't super busy at that time, but then when we left, because we went right after work, but by the time we were done is when Paquijetas was starting to get hopping. So, it's a fun place. Definitely, it's under construction right now. The middle section is under construction. Guyver says he just left the the press conference. Yeah, I'll go back and I'll listen to the press conference and hear what Phil had to say. I mean, you would assume he's happy because they won, but it was an ugly game. They didn't look particularly good. It's bad when DC United is horrible this year, right? They're just not a good team, and we made them look good. They're in last place in the East. They're out of the playoffs. They're already eliminated. And we made them look good. So what does that say about us? Even if we make it in the playoffs. Okay, so let's ask this question. If we make it in the playoffs, how long do we stay in the playoffs? One and done? I think I saw somebody ask if we get a home game. No, not with this record. We're not getting a home game. I can't imagine. Esteban Mejia asking if I went to a Nacional or Medellin game. No, and that's always been one of my wants. I was really close to doing it one time, and I couldn't because the owner of the company scheduled a management dinner that I had to go to because I had plans on going with a coworker to a game, and I missed it. So that is a dream of mine to go to one of those games, but I'm there for work, so it's tough. So Esteban is also saying maybe one round when I talk about whether or not we stay long in the playoffs. Guyver is adding in the DC player that had the altercation, that would be Taxi Fanta or whatever his last name was, called him the N-word when he was walking away. Oof. Yeah, that's not good. Why? That's just so stupid. I guess people just get worked up, but I mean, you're going to get worked up. Why you got to throw out racist comments, Call him an a-hole or something if you want, right? So there's other choice words you can use to get your point across instead of some racist comment. Come on, guys. There's no room for that anywhere in society, but let alone in that game, right? Kata is asking, Peter, am I crazy or did I expect more assists like that from Yedlin this year, especially at his caliber, U.S. men's national team caliber? Yeah, I guess you're right. But he is working that side of the field every game. He puts in a solid shift. And they kept going to him a lot this game, I thought. So I think he's had a really good year for us. But yes, I would agree. It would be nice to get more crosses like what we saw go in there. Tank is saying we might end up playing Montreal away if these standings stay the same. That's a very tough matchup at their home. Yeah, so if we get in the playoffs, we're squeaking in, right? And so it could be first versus worst, right? So you say we could play Montreal, but I mean, couldn't we also equally play Philly, or has Philly got a bye? I'm not sure if they get a bye on the first round. I don't remember the MLS playoff rules, but going back to the comment, Baldwin 4 says there are so many black players on DC. Why would a Greek player say that? Yeah, he might. If he did say that, I think he might have some issues with his own teammates, right? Because there's one of the players on DC United is a Jamaican international teammate of Damian Lowe's, and you saw them talking to each other. He was trying to calm Damian down a little bit, and he's also a man of color, and so you would think Taxi, if this is true, Taxi might have some issues with some of his own players. Guyver, who was watching the press conference, reporting in, says, so based on that situation, if the ref didn't make a decision, Inter Miami CF was going to leave the game. Interesting. I can't wait to go back and listen to that drama. Baldwin is surprised that Yedlin made the U.S. Men's World Cup roster. I mean, has he made the World Cup roster yet? I mean, he's made the next game for that international friendly, but I don't know if he's made the roster yet. But it certainly seems like he might be. That just tells you they need people on that side of the field. They need an old guy in there. Okay, so Tank is saying Top gets a bye. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I thought for a second that's why I was hovering around that, asking the question if they got a bye, because I wasn't sure. The thing is, how MLS rules are, they change every other day. What else we got going on in here? All right. So, anyways, let's start wrapping this sucker up. And no reason to keep you guys sitting around. Although I enjoy just hanging out with you and just chatting away. But coming up next, we're in Toronto on the 30th, so we got a little international break. Baldwin is saying that Shaq Moore of Nashville is better than Yedlin. But does maybe Shaq Moore start and Yedlin on the bench? Did Shaq Moore get a call up? That's, I guess, a better question. I don't know. So then also Inter Miami, then we have 2 home games. So luckily, the way we finish off the season are 2 home games, and that's great because we play better at home. I think we've only had 3 wins on the road. This would make 4 wins on the road the entire season. I think that stat is accurate. So thankfully, we have 2 home games against 2 tough opponents. But ball is in Inter Miami's court. They're in the playoffs right now. I thought, I'll be honest with you, when I was creating the title of the show, clearly I made that in the morning. Didn't know what the game was going to look like. I kind of was prepared for the worst. I was expecting potentially a loss or a tie. And so I had my mind wrapped around just kind of like, no. Because here's the thing. Okay, let me ask this question to you guys before we go. If we lose and don't any of these games or all these games or what have you, and if we don't make the playoffs, so if we make the playoffs, I think we could all agree you got to call this season a success. With the sanctions, with everything that they've had to deal with those sanctions, with injuries left and right, you'd have to say if you make the playoffs, it's a successful season. You got Higuain with 13 goals this year, and I think Campana is got 10. Yeah, 13 goals for Higuain, 10 goals by Campana. I'd say it's a success, right? If they make the playoffs. But if they don't make the playoffs, is it a total failure? Are we then calling for Phil's head? I know a lot of fans will call for Phil's head. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's got at least another season or at least another half a season getting the team through the sanctions that they have. So Esteban coming at me. Peter, you won the Swiss Award for daring to touch on my question, Colombia women, in a diplomatic way, where you acknowledge the question, but you don't spend time in the talk bound by your wife. Hey, look, like I said, there's beautiful women everywhere in the world. So, and the funny thing is when you go to Colombia, people there's this image that, and people say this to my wife, talking about Colombia and my wife. People go, you let him go to Colombia without you? You let him go? Because there's this image that it's dangerous for a man in Colombia, right? That it's dangerous because the women are like just so aggressive. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. They don't have any interest in an old 53-year-old, trust me. So no problems there. It's all good. Baldwin is saying, rather have a week of playoffs than no playoffs. Exactly. We need to get in. Getting in, to me, is a success. But I also don't think that if we don't make the playoffs, you could still say it was a successful season. You could still say, because you saw some positive movement, and you would just say, all right, what do we need in the offseason? We need maybe a new central defender. As much as I defend Damian Lowe, he's suspect at times. So, you probably need a new central defender. I'm assuming Higuain is retiring or not coming back next year. So, we need a good goal scorer, and hopefully they can bring Campana back. So Baldwin is saying in MLS 2022, you have to make the playoffs. So Kevin Gonzalez says the ball bounces funny in the playoffs. I just get in, and anyone can win. Yes, you are correct. All right, everybody. Well, this was a fun show. Wade County was asking what the Orlando and Cincinnati Columbus schedules look like. I mean, we can just look and see what the next couple games look like for everybody. So let's go to the next. So Columbus. I was gonna say Columbus is playing Chivas. Cincinnati is playing Chivas. But that's a friendly. Let's keep going. All these friendlies. So on the 27th, Cincinnati. You did ask about Cincinnati. Cincinnati is playing Seattle, so you figured they'd probably lose that game. And then they also then play Chicago shortly thereafter. They probably win that game. Columbus plays the Red Bulls. That's a toss-up. I mean, Red Bulls are pretty good. Then Orlando plays New York City on October 2nd. So, they don't have an easy time either. There's lots of good stuff. All right, folks. I'm going to wrap this up. Ed, I know you said you were trying to call in, but at this point, we're basically done. It didn't work. So we will see everybody later. Hey, don't forget, we're going to try to do this again tomorrow, and we're going to talk all kinds of nerdy stuff. We got the Andor movie, TV series coming up. We got the Black Adam movie coming up. Lots of good stuff to talk about. We're going to spend an hour tomorrow night, and hopefully Ed can join us at that time. Spend an hour and talk all the nerdy news on that show. So hang out with us tomorrow night. And you know what? If tomorrow night Ed wants to throw in some soccer thoughts, we'll do that as well, because he didn't get a chance to give his opinion. It was just me killing a bunch of time for a night. But I enjoyed hanging out with you guys because, you're my soccer buddies right here on the chat. And so I like talking to you guys about the game and what we saw. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Please go to Caneswear. Buy all your gear at Caneswear, and please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody. Thanks.